The peaceful park shattered in an instant when a spoiled Mafia heir stepped out of his luxury car and pointed a golden gun at a female military veteran and her loyal service dog. People froze. Some grabbed their children. Others whispered in fear, "What is happening?" Terrified to even breathe too loudly. The veteran tried to stay calm, but her dog growled, sensing danger closing in, and just when the Mafia son thought he had complete control, a quiet stranger appeared, calm, steady, unshaken. He walked toward the gun like it was nothing more than a toy. The crowd stared, stunned by his fearlessness. The Mafia heir smirked, thinking he was about to teach the stranger a lesson. He didn't know the truth. The man he was threatening was a Navy SEAL. What the Navy SEAL did next will leave you speechless. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The peaceful park shattered in an instant when laughter echoed louder than it should have. A well-dressed young man stepped forward, his smile careless, his confidence reckless. In one smooth motion, he pulled a golden gun from his coat and raised it like a joke that no one found funny. Conversations died. Footsteps stopped. A mother grabbed her child. Somewhere, a phone slipped from shaking fingers. The female veteran froze, instinctively pulling her service dog closer. The German shepherd's ears snapped back, a low growl rolling from his chest as he sensed real danger. And then, quietly, a man stepped between them. No shouting. No panic. Just calm eyes meeting the barrel of the gun. The Mafia son laughed, convinced he owned the moment, unaware he was aiming at a Navy SEAL moments earlier. The park had been wrapped in quiet comfort. Golden leaves drifted lazily from tall trees, children laughed near the benches, and joggers passed with headphones in, lost in their own worlds. The air smelled of autumn and calm. The female veteran walked slowly along the path, her service dog moving perfectly at her side, steady and focused. It was the kind of ordinary afternoon people take for granted right up until ordinary disappeared. The woman walked with the quiet confidence of someone who had already faced worse than stares or whispers. A military veteran, she carried invisible scars, memories she rarely spoke about but lived with every day. Beside her, her German shepherd moved in perfect rhythm, trained, disciplined, and deeply bonded to her. He wasn't just a dog. He was her protector, her anchor, the one constant that had stayed when the noise of war faded. Together, they had learned to trust instincts over comfort, silence over fear. A few steps away stood a man no one paid attention to. Dressed simply, hands relaxed at his sides, he blended into the background like any other passerby. But his eyes were different, sharp, alert, always moving. He noticed the dog first, then the veteran, then the shift in the air that most people missed. While others enjoyed the calm, he studied it. Years of training had taught him one truth: danger never announces itself. It waits. The calm cracked when a luxury car rolled to a stop beside the park, its engine purring like a challenge. Music blasted as the door swung open, and out stepped a young man dressed in designer clothes, confidence dripping from every careless movement. He laughed too loudly, scanning the park as if it belonged to him. His eyes landed on the veteran and her dog, and something twisted into a smirk. Power, to him, was about being seen and feared. And today, he wanted an audience. The young man strutted closer, his smirk widening as he looked the veteran up and down. He made a mocking comment, then another, his words sharp and deliberate. When he reached toward the dog, the German shepherd stepped forward instantly, muscles tightening, a warning growl vibrating through the air. The crowd stiffened. The veteran's jaw clenched as she pulled the leash back, her voice calm but firm. This wasn't fear, it was recognition. She knew the signs. Trouble had just crossed the line. The laughter stopped when the man's hand slipped inside his jacket. In one slow, deliberate motion, he pulled out a golden handgun and lifted it into the open air. The park fell silent, as if every breath had been stolen at once. A child whimpered. Someone whispered a prayer. Foams hovered mid-air, forgotten. The veteran froze, instinctively stepping back as her dog lowered his stance, ready to defend. Then the gun turned, its barrel steady, aimed at one man. He didn't move. He didn't blink. He simply stood there, calm as the world collapsed around him. The man stepped forward, placing himself squarely between the gun and the veteran. His movements were slow, deliberate, almost respectful, as if he were calming a frightened animal rather than facing a loaded weapon. His hands stayed visible, relaxed, not in surrender but in control. He spoke softly, his voice steady, cutting through the panic like a blade. The dog sensed it instantly, standing tall but silent. That common, natural, uncheckable made the crowd uneasy. Fear was expected. This was something far more dangerous. The young man laughed, mistaking calm for weakness. He waved the gun carelessly, boasting about who his father was, about how no one ever touched him. His words spilled fast and loud, fueled by ego and entitlement. He took a step closer, invading the man's space, pressing the barrel forward as a threat. The crowd recoiled. The veteran held her breath. In that moment, the Mafia son believed fear made him powerful. He never realized arrogance was guiding him straight into his worst mistake. It happened faster than fear could catch up. One step in, a sharp pivot, and the man's calm finally broke into precision. His hand redirected the barrel in a blur, his body closing distance with practiced control. The gun clattered to the ground, skidding across the pavement as the Mafia son stumbled. Shocked, breath knocked from his chest. Gasps rippled through the crowd. No punches thrown in rage, no wasted motion, just efficiency. The German shepherd stayed still, watching. In seconds the threat was gone. And only then did people realize they hadn't just witnessed bravery, they'd witnessed training. Sirens cut through the stunned silence as police rushed into the park, weapons drawn. The man released his grip and stepped back without resistance, his posture calm once more. An officer stared at him, recognition flashing across his face. "Wait, I know you," he said under his breath. Whispers spread through the crowd, disbelief turning into awe. Someone said it out loud, barely above a whisper. "He's a Navy SEAL." The words hit harder than the gun ever had, changing everything in an instant. The color drained from the young man's face as the truth sank in. His bravado vanished, replaced by wide, trembling eyes. The gun, the threats, the laughter, none of it mattered now. He stumbled backward, stammering excuses that no one listened to. Power slipped from his grasp the moment fear found him. For the first time in his life, his name couldn't save him. The crowd watched in silence as arrogance collapsed into panic, and reality finally caught up with him. The veteran finally exhaled, her shoulders lowering as the danger faded. She looked at the man who had stepped in without hesitation, her eyes shining with gratitude she struggled to put into words. Her German shepherd walked forward calmly, tail wagging once before sitting beside him, trusting him completely. The moment was quiet but powerful. Soldier recognized soldier. Protector recognized protector. In that silence, respect passed between them, unspoken, earned, and deeply felt. Officers moved in swiftly, securing the scene as handcuffs clicked shut around the Mafia son's wrists. His protests echoed weakly, drowned out by the steady authority of the law. The crowd slowly came back to life, whispers turning into relieved murmurs. Parents pulled children close. Phones lowered. Order returned where chaos had ruled moments before. The luxury car sat abandoned, its shine meaningless now. Power built on fear had failed, and justice, quiet, firm, undeniable, had finally taken control. As the sirens faded, the man adjusted his jacket and stepped back into the crowd, disappearing as quietly as he had arrived. No applause followed him, he didn't wait for it. The veteran watched him go, one hand resting on her dog's head. Both of them safe because someone chose courage over comfort. Strength, she realized, isn't loud or cruel. It's calm, controlled, and ready when it matters most.